Hello, everyone. Let's take a look at the study questions for Marx and Engels' Communist Manifesto. Number one, who are the bourgeoisie? They're the capitalists. I mean, I said some things in the videos, perhaps, about the origin of the word being connected up with the German word Berg, which means city, and that they were the city people. But essentially, the bourgeoisie are the upper class in capitalist society, the people who have the capital. And especially people who, to put it in Marxist terms, people who control the means of production. That is, the factories, the machines, the whole productive apparatus for an industrial society. They're the ones who own it, and therefore they're the ruling class. So there's many answers to the question, who are the bourgeoisie, but basically they are the ruling class in a capitalist society. Number two, who are the proletariat? They are the working class. Again, I might have said some things about the origin of the word proletariat, but essentially they're the working class. They're the people who are the wage laborers. The bourgeoisie have property, and especially they have productive property, right? The means of production. And they have capital, they have wealth in all its different forms. And what's important about the proletariat, in terms of the way that they're described here, is that they do not have any property, that they own nothing, and therefore that they live by selling their labor, which is what wage labor is. I mean, no matter what kind of job you have, whether it's a good job, a bad job, a dead end job, a job of the future, you are selling your labor in exchange for wages. That's how it works. And so the proletariat are the wage laborers, the working class. Number three, how does Marx characterize, quote, the modern representative state? That, what does he say? It's but a committee for managing the affairs of the bourgeoisie, basically. The whole deal, the representative state, the republic, the thing that Madison thought would be the cure for faction, the thing that the different revolutionary documents, Declaration of Independence, Declaration of Rights of Man, were establishing. To the Marxist eye, it's just it's a sham. The modern representative state, the republic, representative democracy, in liberal capitalist societies is simply an arm, the government arm of the ruling class. It's all a big joke. It's just basically, yeah, a committee for managing the affairs of the whole bourgeoisie. It's just there for the bourgeoisie as another weapon that it can use to set things up to exploit the proletariat. It's basically quite a different view. Number four, how are modern capitalist societies different from previous forms of society, according to Marx? This is very well answered in some of the questions student work. Insofar as there are only two social economic classes that matter, and that's the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, that class antagonisms, which have always existed, are simplified in modern capitalist society so that there's only two classes, basically. And they're fighting each other. All classes have always fought each other in the sense there's been class struggle. But now it's simplified. There's only two that really matter, and that's the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. Number five, how does Marx describe why does Marx describe the proletariat as commodity? Commodity is a thing that's bought and sold, right? It has to be a useful thing, but the importance of the thing is not that it has a use value. The important thing about to be a commodity is that it has an exchange value. That it's something that has a certain price on the open market, and it's useful only insofar as you can sell it or buy it. And the proletariat, in the form of being laborers, are simple commodities. They're bought and sold. They're sold by proletariat to survive, bought by the bourgeoisie to extract value from their labor. So they're just a commodity. And the important thing about a commodity is it's a thing. It's just, as I said in the question number 7, to be a commodity is to be a disposable thing. And that is perhaps the deepest criticism that Marx made about capitalist societies, is that people are treated like things. And the whole thing is set up not for people, but for things. That is, why does the worker work? not to satisfy their own needs or to fulfill themselves. The worker works to increase capital, which is a thing. Everything's set up for the sake of a thing called capital and not for the human beings. So, yeah, that's the Marxist critique of modern societies, is that everything's stood on its head. In society, things should be this for the sake of people. But instead, we have a society where people are for the sake of things. That's probably the most powerful thought in the Marxist critique of society. Number 6, what does this document think is the inevitable future of modern capitalist society? Why? That it be destroyed by revolution. That the society, the bourgeois society, modern capitalist society, be transformed into communist society. And communism is basically the rule of the working class, which would essentially mean no more private property, no more capitalism. Instead, the idea is that the workers would use the means of production to make what they needed for themselves, for each other, rather than to grow capital. I think that's the way Marx would describe it. Number 7, to be treated like a commodity is to be treated as a disposable thing. Are workers today treated like commodities, in your opinion? Why or why not? Obviously, that's an opinion question. Got some really interesting answers. And a real range of answers. Somebody just wrote 1,000% yes. It's even worse now, which is really striking. And somebody on the other side said, well, more mixed answers, like, well, it really depends on what kind of job you have. Some workers are not treated like commodities, and some are. It really depends. Some things have gotten better for some people, and some things have not gotten better for other people. So there is a whole range of answers to that.